There's a lot of use of the word recession of late. In fact, coming back from Atlanta this weekend, I heard a commentator say we felt just short of a recession on the S&P. It was short by 0.5% drop in the S&P. Well, I'll give you a recession. As I stopped at Buc-ee's to fill my car up with gas, this is what a recession looked like. I normally spend somewhere around $40, and as you can see, I got up to about 60. No, it's normally about $50. I got up to 65. So that's about a 30% increase in the price of gas. Now, if I was a single mother of two and had to put groceries on the table and work for a living, well, that's $15 that I can't spend somewhere else, like at the grocery store or certainly going out to dinner. So, yeah, that's a recession. And I think it's foolish to think that it isn't going to happen. What I think is a little strange is who they blame it on. I can't put a name on it, whether it's Vladimir or Joe. I would put it on the pandemic. Let's be realistic. We screwed up our economy when we pumped $9 trillion in to keep the economy afloat. And now we're having the effects of it. That's $9 trillion of money that was chasing goods and services and stocks and bonds. And now we're having an adjustment for it. And again, in addition to that, our supply chain is broken. Heck, it went into Buc-ee's to buy some of our favorite muffins, and they didn't have any. And I asked the lady, "Why don't you have any muffins?" She says, "We can't get the ingredients to make the muffins." I don't know if that's the wheat from Ukraine or whatever, but I've never heard of anything like that before. So, are we in a recession? You bet we are. What I want to do, though, is basically determine how am I going to react to this recession as an investor. I also know from studying past history, anytime there has been a recession in history, it was followed by a surge in the stock market. It was followed by innovation. It was followed by technology. So since I can't stop this recession, I can't bring my price of my gas back down to 40 or even 35 or dollars to fill up. Since I can't do that, what I can do is plan my investment portfolio and take advantage of this recession in prices of stocks as well, because I know the world's going to advance. I know technology is going to be an important part in the future. So all I have to do is weather the storm. This is not financial advice. I hope you'll look upon it as financial education, and maybe a little peace of mind can be derived from it, and maybe you can feel better about the difficulties you might be having now when you absorb that times are going to be better in the very near future. Again, no financial advice, just financial education.
Best of Us Investors presents Carrie Griegmeyer.
I asked Google, what is a recession? And it took me to Wikipedia. And Wikipedia says, in economics, a recession is a business cycle contraction when there is general decline in economic activity. Recessions generally occur when there is a widespread drop in spending. Well, there would be a drop in spending in some areas if other areas are very expensive, such as my gasoline. This may be triggered by various events such as financial crisis, external trade shock. Certainly, we're having trade shock because things are not available because our supply chain is broken, an adverse supply shock, a bursting of an economic bubble. I would say that the influx of $9 trillion did create an economic bubble, a large-scale natural disaster, and in parentheses it says EGA pandemic. We had one of those and are continuing. In the United States, it is defined as a significant decline in economic activity spreading across the market, lasting for more than a few months, normally visible in real gross domestic product, real income, employment, industrial production, and wholesale and retail sales. We saw that wholesale and retail sales in the sales of Target and that of Walmart. And again, I think you got to recognize that we pumped $9 trillion into the economy in 2020. And is that going to potentially increase retail sales? I would think so. I think a lot of people got several $1,200 checks. Would I think that some of that might have been spent at Walmart and Kmart to buy some clothes, to buy the kids some new shoes? Yeah, I would think so. Would I think then that Walmart and Kmart would be up against those numbers? Yeah, I would think so. And then if gasoline costs so much more, would I think that maybe there's some pressure that, well, maybe the kids can wear last year's shoes? Yeah, I would think so. So does this all make sense? Or is it the end of the world? Is this Chicken Little? The sky is falling, the sky is falling? No, it's not. It's a normal cycle that was, and it's not normal. It was injected as a result of the coronavirus and the influx of funny money. So I can't get real upset about it, but at the other time, I need to look and learn. So I want to take you to my trusty chart and show you when this happened last that I experienced it, and that was the subprime crisis. So here we are on my Trading Views chart. And I've rolled it back to 2007. This is October of 2007 when the market kind of hit its high. And then we went into the subprime crisis, or what a lot of people call the real estate crisis, which lasted for 16 months. And I'm looking at the QQQs because that's where technology is and that's where I like to invest. And so until March of 2009, or 16 months, we had a 53% decrease in the value of the QQQs. That is a recession. This is when people lost jobs. This is when people lost houses. This is when the proverbial hit the fan. So and then what I think is important is to recognize what happened after. What happened after the subprime crisis, the recession, and the market just started to climb. Had a little bit of a dip there for 6 months, had the coronavirus dip for about 30 days, and then that brings us to where we are today, and that is in this reset, or recession reset. And we're into it about 7 months, where we've been down as much as 31%. As of today's trading, we are down, let me get that up there, we are down 28.29. So what I think then is interesting, if we go to the depths of the recession of 07, 09, that'll bring us down here to 53%. And that's a substantial increase, and you can see we've got a ways to go. Do I think it will go that deep? I don't really know, because it is being driven by outside forces, including Russia, inflation, interest rates, and of course a rotation to safety. Personally, I look at some of the stocks that I own, 60% being in my big seven now. That would be Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Facebook, NVIDIA, and now Palantir, and I'm missing one. But nonetheless, they are going to benefit. They are going to be the group that gets the cumulative greatest benefit from artificial intelligence. Now, there are going to be smaller companies in the areas that I think where opportunity lies, and that's healthcare, supply chain, energy, that are going to benefit from this harnessing of big data and the use of artificial intelligence. And that's what I'm calling Digital Revolution 3.0. And then if you want to look beyond 3.0, look to 4.0. That's when artificial intelligence goes into machine learning. And machine learning is the computer learns from the artificial intelligence and says, so if A, B, C, D, and Q equal R, then we can assume that the whole alphabet plus that equals that's machine learning. Then if you want to inject some more steroids into it, we add quantum computing. So to get upset about inflation, interest rates, and rotation to safety right now isn't on my menu. It's I can survive it, and I will. And if I have to pay $75 for a fill up of gasoline, I'm not going to like it, but I know what's in front of me, and that's innovation, disruption, and the injection of the power of the computer through artificial intelligence, machine learning, and quantum computing. It is going to, you are going to look back at 2022 and say, I don't believe we used to live that way. I can't believe it that we survived without this. Okay? Much as my grandson cannot envision a world without a cell phone. He can't. And he doesn't know what a spin dial telephone is. Or a typewriter. So don't worry about it. Just endure and get through it. So now again, I ask myself, I can't do anything about this. All I can do is continue to work, continue to do my thing, and invest accordingly. I do know that prices are down. Shucks, Amazon and Google are down some 25, 30%. Do I believe that they're going to be a big part of my future life? Yeah, I do. What do I think the future opportunities in investment are? Well, if I could put it in 2 words, it would be artificial intelligence. If I could say 2 words that got us here in this robust economy that we had, I would say digital revolution. So if you add on to the digital revolution, and as I said, basically the digital revolution has been a consumer product in that I have now e-commerce, I have social media, I can buy anything I want and have it delivered in a matter of days. I can ask my Google what a recession is, and it tells me immediately, okay, so what is the next adaptation of that digital revolution? And I think it's so obvious, it's commercialization of the digital revolution, and in specific, the increase use of artificial intelligence to give me more data so that I can make better decisions. What decisions might that be? Well, I see the day when artificial intelligence will tell me on a minute-to-minute basis which stocks to buy and which stocks to sell. And I see that artificial intelligence will tell me through genome sequence and genome editing what kind of diseases I got going on in my body, and based on all the knowledge in the world, how I can cure myself or how I can take that disease out of my body. I just think what you're doing is you're taking the caveman's mind that developed into this beautiful mind that I have, and then injecting it with steroids of 1 million times, that we're taking this mind and putting it in a computer and putting an algorithm to it and say, can you beat Kerry? Can you beat his decision making? Well, hell yes, you can. So that's where I look at this recession and my $65 on gasoline and say, all I got to do is endure it. All I got to do is put my nose down to the grindstone and say, I just need some more money to invest in good companies right now. I know they're going to improve the supply chain. I know that means we got to bring manufacturing back to the United States. I know that means 3D printing and robotics. So what am I getting all upset about? Unless I can't afford that $65 for that gasoline. That's the only rub that exists right now. I said I was in Atlanta. We went for some friends' children's graduation, and I made from high school, and I made a point of asking as many as I could, how many, what are you going to be studying when you go? And I heard physical therapy, and I heard I'm going into finances. I never heard the word artificial intelligence. I never heard it, and it frustrated me, but I wasn't going to be the old man who knows it all, and so I didn't mention it. Artificial intelligence is going to change our world. And what I say to you, I did meet an interesting guy, or not met him, I knew him before. He's a friend of my son-in-law's, Nick. Nick, I asked him, what are you doing nowadays, Nick? He says, the same thing I've been doing. I play cards. I said, what do you mean you play cards? I go to Las Vegas. I've qualified for the poker tournament. He's a professional card player. He's a professional gambler. You probably have seen him on, I think it's ESPN, who holds the world's tournament of poker. And I said, what's it take? What's it take to be a successful professional gambler? He says, you just got to be smarter than 70% of the other people at the table. Haven't I told you about that in investing? I said, do you gamble anywhere else in the casino? He said, oh, no, I don't go anywhere but the poker table. And I said, why is that? He says, because if I had to fill my mind with roulette and blackjack as well, I couldn't be as good at poker. And I said, that's the same way I feel about investing. I'm not interested in 90% of the investment opportunities because I can't study them all. But if I'll study genome sequencing and genome editing and supply chain, I can probably be smarter than 75% of the people who are investing in the stock market. So I can win at the game. Now, what I hedge my bet on is saying, I want help. And so I buy gurus' knowledge, I read their studies, and then I have a tribe. And by the way, I've written a book about it, and I told you earlier, and I'll tell you again, if you'll go to the link to this book, The Power of the Tribe, I'm giving it away free in Kindle version on Amazon. I think it's for 5 days, so it would be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I think through Friday. So I want you to have this book because I want you to understand the power of a tribe. I want you to come to our Discord, attend one of our Friday meetings at the close of business on the stock market, and learn how, if you can surround yourself with people of like mind and like interest, you can become smarter than 70% of the people at the table. I'm actually striving to be smarter than 90%. And I think I've got a leg up. But time will tell that. We will make it through this recession. think of it as an opportunity. Again, remember the chart from the subprime crisis. Once we got through that end, that bottom, it just went straight up. And that's what's going to happen. And what's the catalyst that's going to make it happen? AI. AI, artificial intelligence. The first lady who told me about that and said, Carrie, you need to learn what artificial intelligence is going to do to our world was Amy Webb. She taught me about it in this book, The Big Nine. And she breaks down the companies that she believed, and this was probably done in 2018 or 19, that are going to lead us through artificial intelligence. And you might or might not be surprised, but they represent roughly 60% of my stock portfolio. Okay, I want you to succeed. I want you to make it through this recession and say, damn, I'm glad I realized that was a gift from the gods of investment. A recession can be your friend. If $65 for a fill-up doesn't break the bank. All right, that's my knowledge for the day. Get the free book and come join me on Friday afternoon. Talk to you again tomorrow.